problem.
Save me some time there. And that was a really solid recap from all the way back then. Great to have you here, Josh, tonight, and kind of picking up right in. I mean, in a place that I think Taroxys would be in awe within, and so where we left off, specifically in this moment, was just adding a little bit more context that they're in, like Nick said, they are inside of the skull of Perforos. So this is a massive, I mean, saying enormous doesn't even really cut it. Yes, they docked their ship in one of the eye sockets that was kind of blown out from the battle with Heliod. And I think the kind of the way to try to imagine this thing, the way I described it, is almost like walking through being able to move through a giant Anvarot skull, but that also has some arcanic properties. And so there are intricate cogs and machinations that are going, but they're not but not operating. So there's not like this hum of things moving. There's this one static eye that's kind of, lodged on the other side. They take that metal tunnel that leads to a much more open space, like right behind the eye and the nose. And from there, they are literally, there's also no gravity here. So the entire, party is kind of free floating, through space. Also, the air here is stale. I think that it is what it is a condition of, most likely, is because the god is either dead or petrified. It's most things within the astral space have their own body of air. This air kind of field is slowly dwindling, and that stale air is causing a condition. So I want to remind you, anyone who did fail their Constitution save is poisoned. Now, of course, Taroxys is immune to this because he's Anvarot and doesn't really need air to breathe. But anyone else, some people are kind of suffering from the poison condition on their attributes because of the air is kind of foul. And so it's not like something, it's not cursed. It's not something that Perforos is doing. It's a status of them exploring something in this state. They had the option to go both up, which is like into this grand, and it's so large, the space, that it's hard to see the walls. And what you can see of the walls, the little bit of light that remains, comes from these like bioluminescent red veins that run through the metal, like bronzed walls. And so Telmoon is able to see what looks like a dark organic, like kind of tendrils wrapped around this crystal, floating high in the space. And it's so dark, and the crystal itself only pulses a bit, making it have like a deep reddish glow, but doesn't light the space much. But what they are able to make out above them is all these, these little floating orbs. Of course, as Nick says, when you get closer, there are these little Anvarot skulls that almost seem to be like a defense system for this area that would essentially be shaped in, it would be the brain of Perforos. Some other options before they went up there, they were able to see the other eye socket had a cavernous space that they could enter. They did not go there. There was also down leading deeper into the jaw area. And so those were a couple other options that have not been explored yet. So as Telmoon went and the party kind of got behind him, these things attacked. Everything was said, has already been said. He touched it, lost his power. He's floating back, wounded. Taroxy's reaching out to catch him, and that's kind of where we're at. And these things are swarming, preparing to like kind of create a more defensive stance. 100 of these things. So yeah, that is everything. That's where we're going to pick up. And so let's re-roll initiative for tonight. And then as you're rolling initiative and putting in the chat, I'll go ahead and hit us with our opening. right. Well, welcome back. Bartholomew, what did Bartholomew get? Got a dirty 20 for Apodexis. And K11 for Bartholomew, 23 for Telmoon. Okay.
I wish Telmoon was unconscious, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I was actually gonna roll for Telmoon, but yeah, you rolled it, so I was gonna allow it. Yeah, but yeah, you might. Well, if Taraxis is holding him, you probably want to. But Taraxi's probably not gonna check Telmoon, so we'll see. Um, let's see. What I will say here. Get my music going again. Let me know if it gets too loud, or just let me know because I haven't, checked it since it's more battle music. You guys can let me know. Okay, so Telmoon is kind of. The other thing that I don't recall is did we ended on Telmoon, so I don't know if Taraxis actually had a chance to grab him yet. Like he actually was. Did we actually say Telmoon was in? Because I don't. That's one other thing I don't recall. Does anybody else recall that? Others that was something Nick added that might be up for contention.
I thought because Telmoon was plummeting down. You described that.
Because remember, there's no ground. He's plummeting back, but he's just in open space. So Taraxis would be the next person in his. But you see the way I have them like set up here is I had a group that was here that stayed back. They were about 35 feet from this group, which is Taraxis, Bartholomew, and Moby, and then 30 feet up ahead. Well, when was Telmoon kind of falling back. And then another like 30-40 feet are the swarm of light orbs that are wrapping themselves around, which is the way I had it.
I remember. I thought that Telmoon was grabbed by Taraxis because he was because I thought we made a roll for that, but I could be mistaken.
I do not recall, and
I
my
thought
notes
I ended
just
on
trail
Telmoon, so
off.
I don't know how Taraxis would have done it. So I'm going to make a roll for it, and I'm going to say that 11 up, 1 through 10, Taraxis doesn't have him. 11 through 20, Taraxis catches him. Okay. So he is just shy of, he's still out of Taraxis' hands, but he is awake. He has 1 hit point. Based on you all being able to kind of take a view of your surroundings, I think everyone, also knowing each other, how quickly they move in the space of where they're at, you can tell that the flame skulls are pretty, they're going to be slower to react than most of you. So they're at an initiative of 11. So they are before Taraxis, and then Moby's a 7, and Persis is a 7. And I don't know, is anyone choosing to go before each other? Is it Moby before Persis, or would you like it to be Persis before?
Yeah, let me go before you. That's right.
Please do.
Okay. And so as this is happening, and Telmoon is not completely down. Before I turn it over to him, what I will say is that from that waking up, I know how Telmoon's fervor is. Can I have a wisdom save for Telmoon?
You're asking a whole lot. Go, Telmoon. That was an 18. I rolled an 18 for a mighty 17.
Okay, so I would also like one for Bartholomew, Moby, and Taraxis.
Mine was a 19 minus 1 is an 18.
Mm-hmm.
I've got 14.
Sorry, wisdom?
Wisdom save, yes.
5.
Okay. You all are frightened, and it's not a normal frighten. This is a type of reverential fear that even if you are immune to, you have. And it's not of the skulls necessarily. It's kind of just it would be the smallest presence of Perforos in this, getting the understanding that you literally are fighting the makeup of him to some degree. Do with that what you will, but those few are frightened at the moment. They did not pass. So as we kick off, it is Telmoon's turn.
What do you think, guys? Because if Talmoon's fearing that this is like an essence of Perforos, I don't think he would want to fight that.
I don't think he would either, but yeah, that's what.
Wouldn't think so, no.
But normal rules apply. Like, he can still attack. He just, he's right now he can't move forward, and he can also on his end of his turn try to save again and get rid of the condition.
I mean,
and I take it as like it's not like an ability. Don't think of it as something that came out of the crystal. Think of it as like you just saw, Taraxi saw Telmoon touch a remnant of the god, and it threw him away, almost killed him. So it's very sobering.
I don't know if we can pass the save.
that's what I'm thinking.
Did anyone? No one. Did anyone get anything crazy like a? No one got anything over 20, right?
No, I don't think
No.
it's possible. We're all -1s.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah. This is not the wise crew you're speaking to.
And
Yeah,
I know we're in a combat, but also you also are feel free to of course role play how you wish. I imagine this is a slower combat round in terms of like the way time is counting a bit, but.
I think that if he's afraid and has this understanding, Talmoon would cast 5th level spell, Far Step.
Okay.
And he would look back, shake his head. I don't think he would say anything, but you would just see him run down 60 feet and teleport another 60 feet out, so 120 feet down.
Like away from like back here.
Yeah.
So even in the way y'all are looking at this space, the way you would want to think of this space is the way I'm just like, it looks like it's a horizontal plane that you're playing on, but you guys are essentially vertical. You guys are like, imagine you're in a hall. Telmoon is looking up, so you're all like, this is south, this is north down there. You guys are like inside that skull, so that's up back where they are. That's towards the center or the eye, not the eye, but the brain. Someone get confused. Okay, so Telmoon kind of bamps out of there. That's what he does. Apple, you are up at initiative 20, if I'm not mistaken.
Did Telmoon move? So
He
he's
moved
right.
from all the way out there,
So he's basically
all the
next
way
to me.
back behind the party. Just think of these as like, they're roughly 30, so that would have been 30, 60. Yeah, so he's way back behind, the group. But he appears behind you, Apodexis.
Okay, then I would move toward him, and then do 3rd level Cure Wounds. For 12.
Okay.
He's at
Telmoon gets
13
12
now.
back. As you lay hands on him, those paws like healing him. If does that end to Apodex's turn?
Yeah, and then he'll just he'll ready his mace. I mean, at this point, I don't think I want to be firing at anything that is going to be flaming toward me. So, but I'll stay next to Telmoon and then ready mace. And that's it.
As this is happening, we move to Sophia, who is farthest back and sees Telmoon, appearing behind her. You're up.
Sophia would go to where Telmoon is, check his wounds, seeing Apodexis casting a spell on him, and yell out to the other three that are further up. We've made a bit off more than we can chew. We have to figure out something else. The normal bully way is not going to work. We have to retreat. And she'll hold her action, if she can, to cast... They go pretty damn quick. 5th level... I want to do a 3rd level mass healing word, if anything. If anyone gets hit, that's on the other group.
Okay. If anyone gets hit, that will be
Yeah, so
applied to the, like whoever.
Taroxys, Moby, or Bart.
These, if any of them get hit. Okay. All right. Fair enough. This moves us to Sophia. Is kind of defensively putting that protection on them. Kind of camera panning over, zooming in on little Fitz. She's flying and around in her, swimming around in those with her hose.
Yeah, I'm all about that retreating lifestyle. I'm cool with that. Let's leave. Let's go.
All right, so I take it this so far Fitz is on the retreat as well, so she's out of range.
Mm-hmm.
If you're on the retreat and you're in this group, at least you're definitely out of range of everything.
Yeah. Come on, you guys. The end. Actually, can I chuck in? I don't think I'm close. Can I close enough for inspiration?
What's your range you need to be?
I don't know. A window is open and it will not close. Sorry.
Isn't it just as long as you can they can
60
hear you?
feet.
60
It's
feet?
60 feet.
60 feet. Yeah,
They're in 60 feet, right?
They're well within 60 feet.
Yeah. Can I give inspiration to Taroxys?
You may.
You have a D12. You can use it until it works. Enjoy.
Bye, Bart.
So, the flame cells are at 11.
Come on.
They're
They will, as they're kind of coalescing and protecting this that crystal that's kind of large shape, wide shape like a brain. Just 10 of them kind of float out, and those 10 kind of float forward. Actually, I actually need to reroll this. I need to do this in a way to hit 3, and I don't want to do all this math. So I'm gonna say 9. So 3. So what you see is when you turn on those dice is they their mouths open, their eyes light up, and all these little streams of peppery of fire come flying out of them, streaming towards Taroxys, Bartholomew, And what you get the feeling is the 100 of them are not leaving. The 10 are not leaving, but they've kind of put themselves at the forefront and they're casting, and they're like casting, and then they back away and go back into the fold, almost like in protection. But from those casts, what those basically, so 10 of them. So 3 magic missiles were cast on each. So Bartholomew would take 32 points of damage. Force damage.
Awesome.
And then for Moby, 22 points of, and for Taroxys, 30 points of force damage. As they're kind of blocking, as all those missiles are just like slamming into them as they try to move away from them. As this happens and that spell ends, Bartholomew's up.
Before Bart goes, triggering my Sophia's reaction, because all 3 did get hit. So mass healing word to those 3, and tell Moon. You all get 8 points of healing.
Thank you, sir.
Take it.
8 points.
Beautiful.
Um,
All right, Bartholomew, you're up.
Feeling the presence of his god, Bart's going to make a little prayer as he looks back and will dash.
Over there. Okay.
This is Lord Porphyros' essence. As he dashed 60 feet away. That ends his turn.
Okay. As he dashes away, Taroxys, you are up, and then Moby, and then Persis. So, actually, with there being no villains, so unless Taroxys, you plan on going to the fight, but Taroxys, you are up, actually.
How far away is the massive skulls?
About 60 feet.
Taroxys, feeling the fear grip his mechanical heart, looks up at the massive skulls and yells, "I am worthy," as he points the hammer of Perforos directly at the skulls and casts Shatter at their teeth.
Yes.
Yes. All right. So they need to make a con save.
Yeah, con save of 18. It's not a whole lot of damage, but he's about to run away anyway.
Yep. I'm gonna use them all. I'm using one roll for all of them. Actually, no, 3. That's 10. I'm just do it. So we got a 14.
That's fail, so it's 12 thunder damage.
12. So as he blasts, as it shatters out, and I imagine like a conduit of some extra essence of that, mighty hammer comes out with it as he says, "I'm worthy," and boom, there's a group of them that kind of like almost like EMP get like thrown away, and the fire goes out, and they kind of float and kind of go off into the darkness. But right where the hole is, it just kind of gets filled in by a bunch more, as he realized there is enough to continue the fight. And there's no response. There's no response from. There's no. It feels very. And when I said that he feels the presence, or even Bartholomew feeling the presence of your god, it's because you're in the god, but there's no, the personality of the god is not there. There's no Perforos talking, or you don't feel him in your spirit. That part is still lacking. So it's like there's something missing. It's definitely something missing.
He'll book it backwards after that performance.
All right, Moby, as you see Taroxys actually moving away from you, probably for the first time you've ever seen Taroxys move away from a battle, period.
Understandably, everyone's seen me shoot my arrows and try to attack, and without a magic weapon, I've been useless. So I just, do you guys, do you want me to come back with y'all? What do you want me to do?
Run!
Can we like as one, just go yes?
Run!
So Moby's running.
Moby
enough.
just glides his way back.
He's gliding through. Persis, I know you're still last but not least. It doesn't seem like anyone's fighting, but wouldn't do you a disservice of not giving you your turn. So
Yeah.
What is she doing?
At Taroxys' defiance, Persis kind of smacks herself in the face and is like, "Don't provoke them." As she's running, and yeah, I'm gonna do this, sure, because this still seems kind of fearsome, and they might try to strike at us. She's gonna do a 3rd level fog cloud.
Ooh, okay.
Right, so it's gonna be like right, the border of it will be right by them.
Yep.
By upcasting it's gonna be should be 60-foot radius.
Okay.
I know we're in a massive space, but it should.
But yeah, it's still enough. No, I will take that. Yes, and it plumes out at least for like the main group that was fine with would be obscure. It would completely obscure you and allow you to make your escape much easier.
Fog cloud.
Fog cloud. Going back to the
that-
classics.
Yeah, so that fog kind of pours out in that space, and as you all are kind of moving away as quickly as you can, using your mind to navigate space, constantly looking back, it doesn't take long to realize they're not following you. And through that, you start to see them blip out because the fog like really kind of masks the area, but you can kind of see that those few that even kind of started to swim towards you quickly turned away and disappeared back up into the darkness. You all are out of harm's way for now. And maybe for some of you, you are reminded at the Scorpion, telling you that the shard space is one of the most dangerous places in the Nyx.
Holy shit! I thought we were retreating and then we were fighting. Oh man, thank God. So what do we do now?
We still need to find what we came here for. I certainly hope that wasn't it, but it didn't look like the piece of a mighty servant.
No, but the piece could be in the crystal itself.
I am more than willing to explore our other options before revisiting that crystal. Just throwing that out there.
Can someone roll a d4 for me?
I've been rolling a lot. Let someone else.
Yeah. No,
I'll do
not
it.
Nick.
I'll do
Nick
it.
is
All right. 3.
I feel like Nick, your dice to some might be a blessing for a dungeon master or a curse for the party because your dice rolls usually
I'm
trigger
definitely a walking
narrative.
curse with my dice.
Yeah. Whatever suits the narrative, your dice will trigger it.
I rolled a 3.
A 3. Okay. All right. That's I'm gonna mentally note that 3.
Note that 3. I'll worry about that for a while.
What's the party doing?
Do you want to go to that eye-looking cave thing, or we could go deep into the face. I know there's a down, but I've just kind of been letting the Perforos peeps kind of take the lead.
I feel like Tomo would be pretty like quiet and still like shaking from what he just experienced.
Yeah.
Kind of Taroxy's vibe as well, just not talking.
I think we're looking at this like we're traveling in a cave, like we would do before. But we're in a god.
How does
We
that make
don't-
it different?
We don't know what to expect. Things that we've never seen. We could say the wrong thing and something could come kill us.
I felt the might, holy essence of Perforos. It was overwhelming.
Is that Bartholomew?
Yeah.
Okay. Sorry, I know because you're playing Tail Moon in, so I just want to make sure.
Don't worry, you'll know when I
You'll
when
know
I
when it's
speak
Tail
as
Moon.
Dumbo.
Okay.
Yeah. There's not nearly enough sass in that voice.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
Oh, Perfo peeps, where you want to go?
I mean, we have the eye and the mouth.
Yeah.
If we're going by symbolism, I think the eye might be a better bet. But
Why?
then again, we don't. As an artisan and a genius, Perforos's eye would symbolize analysis, insight, perceptiveness.
Beauty is in the eye of the beholder. Hmm?
I don't know that his teeth or jaw would be as symbolic.
This
But
makes
we also
sense.
don't know if this is something that came from Perforos. Any other suggestions?
The Acroian way dictates that the most efficient and shortest routes usually gets the most stuff done. What's the closest, Mal? The eye, like
The eye would be because you know
Back in
you're
the
up in
brain?
like you're
Back
up in this
brain.
space, so the eye the eye would probably be the closest space that you know you could achievably get to. Yeah.
If we were times up the essence, points the spear over there. I suggest the eye.
I also suggest the
Yeah, let's get out of here. This is yeah, let's go.
Okay, so they begin to float towards the eye, and as they do, it's been exactly 3 minutes that you all have almost so that it's been exactly 3 minutes that you've been discussing this, and as they begin to kind of swim towards the eye, you all start to feel the air completely. It starts to be harder and harder to get a full breath of air in your lungs, as you all begin to suffocate. Taroxys is feeling fine. Apodexis can turn into his metal form, and his lungs feel fine. Everyone else, your constitution modifier +1 is how many minutes you can hold your breath. You all are running out of air. So go around and give me your timer on your air right now, and then we will continue to roleplay as you run out. So
Con +1,
what's
that's
yours?
On +1 is 4 for Sophia.
4. So you got 4 minutes. Does everyone have about 4 minutes? Anybody have more than 4 minutes? You have 3?
Bart has 3 minutes.
Alright, so Bart
Talmud has 4.
Okay. 3 and 4 minutes. Go. What are you all doing? So are you guys?
What the fuck is that, Mal?
Are they still swimming towards? Are they still going to the eye? Does this
feel like we
change
gotta-
things? I imagine they
we gotta
start to
make a
panic.
base
How
off the
you all are
ship.
panicking. So what do they do?
We gotta
I mean,
go back
so-
to the ship.
The eye is open to the outside, so it would be easier to breathe there anyway, right?
The
mean-
the eye where they dock their ship is where they would have. They could go back to the ship and they have their own field of air. That's one to try to get back to the ship. The going to the eye room, they don't know what to expect there. The other eye, it could have an opening where they could go out into space, but everything in space doesn't have necessarily air. You have air because you have a pocket around your personal space, or your personal
No.
body. So, yeah.
Well,
Sorry.
you all need to swim
Sorry.
back.
Now, I will
Lyric.
say,
Oh.
here's the thing I'll say. I'll say this, that based on what you were saying, you guys are closer to the eye space that you were planning to go to. You know that trying to get back to the ship might take a little bit longer than the time you have. And you're going to have
Let's
to make
go to
some
the
checks.
eye.
But going to a space, it's like being you're all under, you're into the ocean and your like oxygen's about to run out. Going to a random cave, hopefully you find something there that helps you, or trying to make it back to the ship. Both are dangerous. And I'm expanding the time a little bit. I've just started it, but I'm playing off of kind of real 4 minutes here. So yeah.
Oh,
I sucked at this level in Mega Man.
It's the Sonic the Hedgehog. And the rings go out. All fits is all the gold.
Don't you dare.
Is that how Fitz gets more
again.
lives? Is all the gold she has? She just keeps-
That's how it works, right?
Do we want to gamble with the eyeball?
I mean,
I feel like we're walking and talking.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you
just
all
let's
are
go
okay. So
towards
this
the
is
Fuck
eyeball.
all,
walking.
Let's go.
Run.
Let's go to the eye. Fuck it.
Can we dash?
Barb
Yeah.
will be pointing
can,
steady
yeah.
at the eye. Yeah.
okay.
Moby's
So they're
gonna-
dashing
yeah.
to the eye. I'd like if you're going to the eye, then I'd still like a survival. I'd probably do a survival check either way, but I'd like a survival check from everyone.
oh boy.
No pressure.
So right now,
Archie's
it's
has
a,
inspiration. Don't forget.
24 from Sophia.
Do I need a survival?
actually this is a disadvantage survival because of where the time clock is. You actually don't need anything, Roxy's, but so you can help people if they pass out or if they...
I'm cheering them
I
on.
rolled
I'm
in that one.
physically
Oh,
pushing
really?
people
The
against
one time I
level.
rolled a 26, we don't have to roll?
23
Yeah.
disadvantage for Sophia.
Roxy's and Apple are legit like pushing people who fall behind.
Well, I was gonna add a little bit because I rolled bad survival. It was a 9.
Oh my god.
Christus is probably lagging behind.
No, we're
she's-
pushing you.
Well, I was gonna say she's casting Gust of Wind, so she's gonna do her best to catch up, but push you forward. All of you who were in front of her.
Say that again, what you're doing, Persis? I like
Casting Gust of Wind.
gust of wind.
So-
okay.
Does that have-
Yeah.
Right.
So it'll push people 15 feet forward as long as you're in the line.
Okay, so if you had that gust of wind will give everybody, if you failed, basically because I said it was disadvantage, it gives you one more roll, so you get to try again.
What happens if you rolled a natural 1?
Persis, that would have
can
been a
re-roll
critical
that?
failure, but you're gonna get a chance to re-roll that because Persis and the way Persis is using that spell.
Wow.
Versus
Lucky dog.
And the DC is a 15.
Oh, great.
If you have any inspiration, you can use that as well.
oh, that is
Who's
amazing.
lagging
That's
behind?
18 for Bart.
Nice. 18 for Fitz's reroll.
Okay, nice.
Hell yes.
Oh god, Calvin has to roll.
Oh,
Everybody's running out of air at this point.
oh no.
2 of the 2. Okay, and then the re-roll. Please. Tell me. So for the disadvantage roll, I rolled a 5 and then a
Mhm.
4. And then for the re-roll, I rolled a 3.
Oh no!
Tell Moon passes out, starting to choke, but I imagine that Taraxis is right there to grab him and continue to move with him. Anyone else below the 15? Everyone else make it?
Yeah,
I know
I
Apodexis and Taraxis are not rolling here.
I'm
How are
well
you doing?
below 15.
Okay.
I
Same.
did not pass.
Moby passes out as well. Right now, just at 0
Okay.
hit points. Now, here's what's happening. They're at 0, and you can tell that they're choking. So now they have those people who are down, Telmoon, Moby, they have their con modifier +1. That's how many rounds more they can breathe. So in seconds, 4 times 6, so 24 seconds. They've got like another, they've got seconds to get to a point. How's Sophia doing?
Sophia with the disadvantage roll of 23.
Okay.
And I would have also been choking. I'm sorry.
Okay, choking
I
as
still
well.
had a 9.
So if you pass out, so I can imagine Taraxis can grab at least someone trying to get Persis.
I'd get whoever.
Okay.
Taraxis
So
couldn't.
I'm not even gonna ask for like checks. I just know strength. You'd grab them and kind of start to pull them along. What I will ask for is not that you wouldn't do it and you would be successful at that, but which you both should do. I just want an athletics check from Apodexis and Taraxis. This is to kind of see if you can get them into the space. What I think other people notice. Who rolled the highest? Anybody rolled like really high on this survival? Anybody?
So
pass
I
it?
rolled 26, but it didn't count.
Yeah, Sophia.
Sophia rolled 23.
So Sophia, you're over here galloping through space like like the little unicorn on a stream of light, and as you enter the eye pocket area, you realize there's a little bit more air in there. Like there's air there to breathe. It's still stale. You all make it through. So you're able to kind of like let everyone know there is air over here, as low as it is. So what do I get for those athletics checks?
25.
Okay, so you all make it, and as you kind of collapse down on the ground here, not even really taking your surroundings, as you all are just catching your breath. Telmoon stops choking, so does Persis, and so does who else was there one more?
Moby.
you
Yeah,
all
me.
kind of like taking this huge breath of still very stale, awful air. Anyone who was poisoned is still poisoned. Anyone who had passed, make another con save to see if you are poisoned from the air here. So who is poisoned right now? Show of hands. Okay,
I'm
so
poisoned.
Persis is still poisoned. So that means I think this one is the only one. I thought it was this one other.
Yeah, it's me as well.
And Moby. Okay, so then everyone else. Actually, Taraxis and Apple are also immune to this. So it would just be Bard,
Christ.
Fitz, and Sophia.
I think
Mark
I
will
21
use his inspiration for this
All right.
roll.
Are we still at 0 hit points? Just not choking?
No, you're not. So you drop to 0. You should. I'll allow you to go back to where your hit points were before. So if you were, just go back to. It's pretty much because it's not the same as like losing hit points from battle. You just for a second you were out, starting to flutter, kind of like losing consciousness.
Mighty 13 hit points. Let's go.
Those who lost consciousness will take, after you go back to whatever you were, you
Yeah.
will take 12 points of.
Oh no!
Actually, I don't even know what kind of damage this would be. I guess what is like not breathing damage? Is that
That's
Force,
it's
maybe?
like 4? I guess that's
Force.
force. Yeah,
Force on the lungs.
Location,
Yeah.
breathing.
could have maybe be psychic damage since your brain had no air. Psychic damage. You
Yeah,
take 12
that makes
psychic
sense.
damage.
Lack of oxygen to the brain.
Yeah, lack of oxygen. And so as you all are there, kind of, you start to take in your surroundings and see that you are in this this large, chamber, similar to the one that you docked in, but this one seems still more structurally sound. And on one side of the room, or the cavernous space, the spherical space, it houses a half sphere, or like a concave metallic, like half dome shaped piece of metal that clearly operates as like an eye, and in the center of it is a massive like window out into space. That window seems to be carved out of like intricate glass or crystal, and like those vaulted ceilings stretch over you. You still can see some of the veins, those red veins in the walls. It's very dark in here, but there are also all those cogs and metal pieces. There's a huge contraption built at the center of the room. It's not built for a small humanoids like you, but it just feels like a structure that is massive, and it seems to kind of work. There's multiple gears, and pieces of like kind of like different lenses of varying sizes that protrude towards towards that concave piece. I would say it almost looks like a telescope, or a what do you call those? Why can't I think of
an observatory?
An observatory. Yeah, it almost looks kind of like that. Like, and the tip of it gets really gets very intricate and very small, surprisingly. And you'd have to climb it to get up there. But what you do notice, there is like a faint blue charge from the tip of that observatory kind of like lens to the main concave that leads out into space. It seems to be like a electrical fault, and it seems to be kind of flickering and creating different images, like reflective images that you can't really make out. They kind of like come in fuzzy and then they leave, and then they come in and they disappear, almost like the eye should be working but is not working properly. And that's what you see. And you can breathe again, and I'll turn it over to you all to see like, you know, what you're doing and how they're feeling.
Well, Talmoon, I'm sure, is feeling horrible as he's wheezing and coughing, and he looks like he's about to pass out again. He has 1 hit point.
Talmoon does?
Yeah, the psychic Brit, air suffocation damage, put him down to 1.
Okay. In that case, wheezing and coughing, Persis will go by, like, Talmoon, you look terrible, and give him a 4th level Cure Wounds.
Taroxys is kneeling beside him. Utilize your air intake valves, Talmoon. In and out. In, out.
That's 20? Healing?
Hey.
Helps a little bit.
Apodexis, aren't you too like a follower of Perforos to some degree, or no? Not really. Okay. No, I actually know who you've given your allegiance to. I remember. Okay. Yeah. Sorry. And like I said, this is a large space, and it's like large, dark. So it, you know, similar to the other spaces, you can explore it. But yeah, I heard Fitz about to continue.
I think Fitz is staring at the shiny thing, the electrical thing that's kind of powering on and off, and is trying to like stare at the mechanism and see if she can figure out what's malfunctioning. Not that she has much of a brain for that, but I think it's shiny and she's curious.
What I'll give you from doing that, without even needing to roll any dice, is it looks interesting, but it looks like you would need to climb up there and get closer. And it's enough of like the way the cogs are like positioned and stuff. It wouldn't be super difficult, but it would be a climb. Probably take you maybe like 5 minutes to get up there, to take a closer look.
Anyone want to look at this shiny thing?
Appa would look at it and be like,
She's already starting to climb. I'm going. If someone wants to come, that'd be so much fun.
Just
Appa
leaping
would
across the
follow.
different cogs and can I have an
Obviously
investigation check
dangerous.
from Fitz.
What would you like?
Oh, investigation.
Bart would probably say that he will watch the door, just in case anything.
Yeah.
28.
The door, which is like a giant like cave space, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, Barzoom's is like watching, make sure anything doesn't like float in or follow you in. Fair enough. He's got his eyes there.
I rolled a 28.
Okay. Before I go to Fitz with that 28, anybody else doing anything interesting in the room, or even just anything sharing that they're doing? Otherwise, we'll continue.
Appa was
Sophia
just
would look at the
following
crystal.
Yeah.
The eye, like the crystal that makes the eye. Sophia would probably take a look at that, see if there's anything on that more in depth.
Yeah. So as Sophia's kind of walking across the space and looking up, she can see that Fitz is kind of climbing up onto the kind of lens structure and looking across, and it seems to be I'll kind of tie this into what Fitz sees, but Sophia can see that like the big lens that makes that makes the like iris of the eye that leads out into space, almost like this giant, Death Star window or whatever. It's kind of cracked. It's got cracks in it, and what Fitz sees is when she gets up there, as large as the space is, it's crazy. All these like cogs all these different like bronze rings of different types, and then there's different crystals like lodged into spaces, almost like they all reflect. They're all in different, like there's one here, there's one that's like this big, and then there's one that's like larger than even Taraxis could carry. But when you get to the front where the end of the lens is, there's a small space for something to fit in the size of a fist.
Do you see this? Do you see this? And I just pull the giant gem, and my eyes get really big. I think I'm gonna try and fit it in here, like that block game where it's like the square blocks and the square hole. I'm gonna try and fit this massive diamond. And
it almost like jumps out of your hand like a magnet and locks in. Blast like blows little Fitz like back to the point where she's like about to fall off the edge, and someone like grabs her wrist, and she's like hangs and like pulls her back. And when she looks who it is, it's a spectral, like very slender figure, kind of elegant, almost like otherworldly elf-like features. You can't tell if it's male, female, but and it seems to have like gems in its skin. It seems to kind of sparkle. Its eyes are like bright. They shine like the fury of a forge, but they're not flames. And this spectral entity speaks and says, "Huh." And the spectral is like part of the energy beam is connected, and you all start to hear this like clockwork as all the cogs begin to kind of move and start to rotate, and the eye is like it's not moving very much, but you can almost tell that on the platform you are, it's slightly adjusting, and the spectral figure seems to be what was flickering in and out, and now it's fully materialized, even though you can see through it. And it says, "Be ye an ideation of Perforos? You all don't look like ideations." And then it seems to notice Taraxis. "You are quite more than an ideation." So Fitz, you're the one closest to this thing.
You're so shiny. No, we all like different. My friends, they love Perforos. Like, they are his number one fans.
As you're pointing over to the fan group, Telmoon's already like on his knees, like praying, like reverently.
Yeah, him, and then him, and then him, and then also just pointing everybody out.
Fitz
And
begins to
she
float
has
off as
dancing
it-
lights, so she could do
Okay.
little dancing lights on
Yeah.
top of each person. So it's kind of like a little sim diamond looking thing.
like it.
She puts on top of each of them.
And they all and so you all are far away, but I imagine with the creature kind of intrigued by what you're doing, and the diamond, it starts to float away along with you. Fitz, kind of like following you back to the group, so that you all are kind of like, you know, together, and you're no longer, Fitz is no longer like far away, as it is seems to be quite, you know, interested in you all. You all are not, but you looks at Taroxys and it kind of goes up. You are created by the Maker.
I
You
am
are
the thoughts
an
of my
idea
father.
of... I'm sorry.
I am the thoughts of my father cast in molten bronze.
That you are. An idea fully realized, made real. I am simply a thought of my Maker. Cast away before being fully realized. Similar to what you all fleshlings might, and it kind of pokes at Fitz like cheek, might call a ghost. And you see, and it's not really ghost, but like trying to make you all understand what it is in terms of what it is to what Taroxys is. An Eidolon to maybe you. But to myself, an idea. A creation that never was. Why have you come here? What is it that you seek?
Persis will walk a bit forward and raise the fist and say, "We seek the other pieces of this, another of his creations."
It seems to be drawn to the piece, looking over it, not touching it, but like hovering its hands, almost like an art collector trying to decipher what they're seeing. Wow. Perforos is a magnet for his lost creations. Looks at Taroxys. Maybe that's why you're here. And an artifact like this would eventually be drawn back to him. But if it is here, it may have already been gathered to be destroyed, I fear.
Who is
What?
destroying the artifacts of the Maker?
The Forge Warden. The Forge Warden is an entity that lives in the heart of Perforos. It is where Perforos's fully formed ideations go to be recycled, if they whenever things come back to the Maker. It is a fire entity who has several giants working under his tutelage. Right now, they, as you can see, the Maker is not doing well, and his flame is burning out. And so the Forge Warden continues to shovel in treasures and creations into the fire to keep it lit as it is slowly dying. As eventually we all will. His eternal flame is almost extinguished. So you seek a piece of Perforos's treasure. If it is here, they would have it. What is it that you intend to do with this? How do I know you are good of heart, or all of you are seeing, or how do I know if you are not deceivers?
I think Talmud would speak up. I just want nothing more than to bring Perforos back. There is a way. But to get there, we need these items.
Yeah, they're really dedicated. You can even see they have Perforos piety badges on their really cool leather vests.
And Talmud would point over at Taroxys, but specifically the hammer he's holding, as that should be no better symbol than that.
Taroxys holds it out for the Eidolon's inspection.
I see. You have the Maker's weapon. It has fallen into others' hands in the past that should not have it. But what I'll say is they were not so clearly, intricately made by the Maker. And you, sir, looking towards Telmoon, I can hear your heart screaming at me like Perforos's fiery flame. I trust you. Now, what I will say is that the Forge Warden and his blacksmiths are created in the Maker's image. The Maker giveth and taketh away. I would like you to imagine that they are made with only the part of him that taketh away. Only the part of him that... They are creators, but they are less likely to have this conversation. Harder to be persuade. I'm not saying it's impossible, but you should at least be prepared for a mighty battle to even gain their ear.
If they will not bend, then they will break.
Yes. Is there anything else that I could provide for you? Well, I think there's one. And it goes around and kind of touches each of you on the forehead, like a light little tap, and you feel this. And as it does, this like spectral orb appears like around your head, like a little globe, faintly even there, as you all take like a huge gulp of like fresh air. As you all now have air bubbles cast on you for 24 hours. Anyone who had poison, it is gone. Course of not avoiding Taroxys and Apodexis. There. That should at least help you. Anything else if I have it to help? Now tell me this. This is what I will ask is, what will you do with this treasure, and does it have a chance of helping our Maker?
We're gonna use it to fight a really bad guy.
Tell me more.
I mean, he's super bad.
With the destruction of Perforos, another rose to somewhat try to usurp his place. The dragon Thraxes. He is a danger. He also try to come here and recover what we're looking for. If they kill us, then please don't help them.
These artifacts will also prove useful in fighting the instigator of all that has happened in these past years. Phoenix, or whatever he is, still lives in a fashion, and he must be snuffed out for the universe to return to some kind of balance.
And I
If-
mean, I know that we've talked a little bit about it, but we'd love to try if we could find a way to bring Perforos back.
Yes.
We heard about a way in the underworld. This ritual that could be done to bring him back.
If you would commit to this journey, these names, these villains you speak of, I have heard them echo in the halls in the mind of Perforos. And so, please go forth and bring him back. If you commit to this, the ideations who live here will be very grateful.
Worry not, young thought. With my father's return, you may yet have your chance to come to fruition, as I have.
Then let me bless you in the only way that I can. And all the gems that are in it, it plucks one out, pulls it out, and looks at little Fitz and hands it down to you. And it's a diamond. And it's much smaller, but still fairly large.
I will not look a gift horse in the mouth.
It's about a quarter size, which is still huge, but it's not the fist diamond. A gift for you for restoring the eye of Perforos.
Of course. I thought we might need that later. Usually, when I meet someone who's like super awesome, I give them a little trinket. Would you like one of these? And I hold up the flag, the little bronze Bullies flag. I don't know if it would be insensitive to like plant this here, but I want you to have it.
I've seen many of these
That's us.
floating around in Perforos's memories.
Don't let
Up
the name
above.
fool you. We're
Don't
very
go
nice.
towards his memories now. The ideations there are ruthless. You must.
Yeah. We already learned that
We've
lesson.
experienced that.
Ah,
But we're tough.
Yes.
We made it out alive. Barely.
I will hold on to this. We'll keep it here. We'll plant it somewhere. And it's not a gem, but it kind of like sticks it into itself where it kind of billows off the side of its shoulder.
You look fabulous.
Thank you, my lady. Well, if you are planning to go to the Forge Ward and you want to journey down through the skull, through the jaw area, there will be an opening in the throat. It leads down into the Forge, which is Perforos's heart. That is where you will find them. And whatever approach you plan to take, I will leave up to you. I hope that I have been able to help. If the piece is there, you would find it. You would find it there. Hopefully they have not destroyed it.
Thank you so much. This was great.
They can all breathe now. They can all move about the cabin, I think, with a little less stress, but
I think Fitz is literally doing cartwheels.
yeah.
This is the best.
The figure kind of dematerializes, kind of floating up in little spectral orbs, still feeling its presence, but no longer seeing it.
This is essentially a giant telescope, and you could theoretically like look out through the telescope, right?
Theoretically.
Taroxys. Do you want to look through Perforos's eye? Before
You can't
we go?
control it, but you can look through and see whatever it's looking at that time.
That could
you
be
look
kind of
through.
cool.
You won't be able to climb the gears again, so hold on tight.
Well,
Yes,
actually,
Roxy, sir.
my own little problem is forgetting that everyone can fly. So yeah, you guys are so yeah.
Taroxy still by instinct hits the wings, whether they're needed or not.
Yeah.
I want you to see through his eyes.
All right, let's go. Everyone take turns.
I don't want to ruin the moment, but we are racing against time. But go.
A once in a lifetime opportunity.
Go.
And obviously bring Tomoon with him so that he can use his good eye.
So this time I'll go up there, and it's towards the back, not where she just put the diamond that you used was like used as a reflective lens to channel the energy through. So like towards the back of it, there's like a bit of a station or a place that you can kind of stand on and look through this glass piece and almost like a telescope and see inside what it's looking at. And as it's like very, very faintly moving, you almost don't even notice it, other than like if you were really paying attention, you can feel that there is some movement happening. Through there you see the nebula and stars kind of pushing past you to a place in space, and in that space you see the partially destroyed, almost just the torso, one of the arms is gone, of Heliot, like floating. And this is not in the shard space, this is like in an opposite part of the galaxy, but you can see it with like kind of bit of like light and stars behind it as it floats through this kind of like nebula void and this mist. His face kind of in that same place, part of his face shattered from where the hammer smashed into it. It's like there's bits of rocks floating around it that would have been like his forehead and parts of his skull like open to space.
Taroxys feels a deep-seated satisfaction.
Epidexis just looks, takes a deep breath, and goes, "We made a mistake."
Anyone who looks so far, you gain an inspiration point. And you gain 2 piety of Perforos if you were willing to take it. But continue, Apodexis.
He just that's all he says, and then he just kind of like pushes off of Taroxy's going down.
And as he says that, we made a mistake, and as you all are looking, who's looking right now? I mean, imagine who's looking right now. You can just speak up. And
I know Fitz would have looked, but she would have let all the Perforos people go first.
And so after the Perforos people, Fitz looks in there. Maybe Tobin was just finished, and Fitz sees this shadowy figure kind of looming across the stars come down and cradle the back of Heliot's head. And it's almost translucent. It's hard to see, but the makeup of the stars, where it becomes like a void. So it becomes ever more present of the body that is there. She sees the horns, and it is Erebos. As he kisses the top, what's left of Heliot's head, and then floats away, and then he there's a huge like boom, 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 like a storm sound as he cracks the whip across the stars and slashes the whip at the body, and the chest cavity breaks in two, and the petrification begins to shatter
Oh my god,
And then
did you guys
he
see that?
turns his back and begins to kind of move back away into the stars.
You guys.
And then anyone else who looks would see like it's happening like in almost in slow motion, so you could definitely catch this like moment.
It tells this colorful, dramatic reenactment of the entire thing, and anyone who pokes in and looks at it, she's still coming up with adjectives to describe it. Oh my god.
And the body's still there. It's just now it's now in more parts. It's like broken, really broken, almost a desecration that Erebos has done to his brother.
I mean, I'm not a fan of Elliot. I don't know how to feel about this. Like, I kind of like just seeing the floating torso, but it in shards. I don't know how that makes me feel. I'm conflicted. Not a fan, just conflicted.
He's still on the list.
Let's get down
And
this
as-
man's throat and into his heart.
And as they travel down and begin to travel conflicted, we'll take a 5-minute break and come back. Good game so far.
Oh man,
You gotta
can't
fight
feel
giants
bad
now.
for Elliot.
I don't.
Just
Like,
don't.
I'm good. I'm
It's gonna
good.
be real bad when we like need to bring him back. Otherwise, the place
We're
just
gonna have to. I
dies.
mean, yeah. I still
he's a
like the
dick, but he's
idea.
like the Zeus of this pantheon.
We'll just find
Keeps
him
everyone in
users.
check.
Give someone else the lightning bolts.
I'm
sure that won't be hard.
I'm
The
I'm
brain
taking a
of
moment to
one.
look at Discord and looking at some of these.
Our unhinged memes.
So good. It's so funny. I don't know how you guys don't laugh out loud while you're trying to like role play. Like I could never look at these
'Cause
while I
we're
was
all
trying to
muted.
Guess what we're muted.
Sometimes
You're
when
like,
there's a
happens a
really
lot.
good one that lands, I can see everyone slowly notice it. And you can see it on just like ripple across the faces. It's
Because
great.
you know you're in trouble and you did a good one when you first see Troy's face, and then when he loses it, then it's just like, here it comes.
Yeah,
It's like, yeah.
it's great.
Nice job, y'all. This is pretty good. Pretty good.
All right, so Taroxy's only got 5 HP missing. Fuck that guy. He can survive a fight against
Yeah, no,
giants.
I'm perfectly
we-
fine. I'm at 172 out of
Who the
199.
fuck do I death ward?
Bartholomew.
Hellmoon.
Yeah.
Tell me I already got one.
How long does it
Lawrence?
last?
It lasts 8 hours, but if you drop, you go down to 1.
Yeah.
Does it work after it's already worked, or is it like used and done?
You can reapply
Used and
it,
done.
right?
Yeah,
I,
then
I have to reapply it, yeah, but I have to touch them.
yeah. I mean, Bartholomew is the squishiest one, but
He's
No,
currently
it's
chilling
just
at
an
We're above the
NPC.
spell on
I
Bart.
know.
33 hit points.
We don't
Talmu's
have,
currently
like,
chilling
an
at
hour in
21
us.
hit points.
I thought real hard to just hit Telmoon on the head with my staff when he was at 1 and to be like, 2nd level cure wounds. Just to give him
Just to-
23 HP. Like, you'll thank me later. I don't want
Knowing
to fight
Talmud, he would have had
giants.
the biggest grudge on you if you did that.
I don't want to
Yeah.
fight any giants.
I kind of realized there was something up when I opened up D&D Beyond on my phone, and then I'm like, wait, why is this shared with me? I didn't purchase that yet. I'm like, oh no.
Yeah.
I mean, as long as you have Perfros in your heart, they'll listen, and we'll get our item, and we'll leave.
Oh, so what you're saying, this is going to be like a never-ending story, just walk right by him, otherwise...
Not happening.
I have mass suggestion.
I
I don't
I
know if
know.
it's going to work.
I love the idea of that, but I just feel we're in a fucking god.
I know.
Like
I know.
inside
That's why
of a
I'm
god.
like, what kind of cool tricks do I have? Would it even work? would we get cool points for making like a really nice appeal to the Perforos deity? You know, I don't know.
I want to know why, like, the ideas in the brain were so damn violent.
Yeah.
It's probably just self-defense.
It is.
Like,
if you think
it's
the way
like
the
a
way
normal
the brain
trauma
is.
response.
Yeah.
When people experience trauma, they black it out. It's the whole brain being like, don't go there. That's really painful. Leave it alone. Don't look at that.
But I mean, it's also like the body system, right? Like you don't want things getting into the vitals, so the body attacks it.
It makes sense in my head canon. Thank you for appreciating my pun.
God, he's setting the table up. I don't like it.
Oh no.
All right, bets. How many giants we're gonna have to fight? I'm going with 3.
I'm going with
I'll up
4.
it. I'll say 5.
18.
Don't forget, we got a warden too.
Oh, I was counting him as one of them.
I don't know if the warden is a giant or not. He might be.
It better
he
not be
said
like a. Like
thought
the
you'd
size
say
of
it was like a
gnome. I'd be
flame thing.
pissed.
That'd be amazing. All right, guys, let's fucking kill him.
We got this.
See, do I-
I'm hoping between Fitz is able to smooth talk anyone in this universe and Taroxy's holding that damn hammer, there's a way to talk them down.
There should
You
be.
did.
Maybe.
And we only need one thing. They can get right back to what they're doing when we get back
Right,
there.
like this is the garbage dump. We're just looking for something like that. Can we take that? We need that 1978 bed to that Chevy truck. That's all we need, man.
You were going to throw it away anyway.
Yeah. I'm just happy we can fucking breathe because I did not want to go through another Sonic moment.
Just get you a metal body.
You know, Sophia probably wouldn't object to it, but she would still be a worshiper of THEROS. Just be really weird. Alright. Death Ward on Tell Moon. Has to be another meleeer. Because you guys are in the most danger. And that is...
All right.
Maybe Apple. Apple will be up front too.
Yeah, I was thinking Apo as well.
A lot of bad
You got a
choice.
way to heal yourself, and you got tons of tricks in Taroxy's bag.
Yeah.
Taroxy's is already resistant to fire, correct?
Correct.
He's. I thought the
Just
hammer made you
resistant.
immune.
No, the hammer just gives resistance, but still
Oh.
resistance is perfectly fine.
Yeah,
I am
immune to
immune to
exhaustion.
exhaustion,
That's
Yeah.
it.
Nice.
Yeah.
so I could just keep going.
That is
maybe a little extra healing on Bart would be nice.
All right.
My question is, what do we have to offer them that we could fuel their furnace with, so they'd be willing to give up this piece that would fuel the furnace?
The 37 magical weapons that Taroxy is holding like a Switch Army knife.
Yeah, do you have anything we could sacrifice to the forge?
Y'all got a lot of shit.
All of it.
I haven't used any encumbrance rules, but I mean, yeah, we also have a bag of holding, so yeah.
I'm carrying very little on my person, and everything that I have, I need.
Did we have a magical spear that belonged
was
to
for
Zen?
Zen.
That just
Yeah.
gives you fire resistance.
Where we can talk to that.
We had the
think-
accident.
Am I the one carrying the spear?
Actually, yeah, Apo has the accident and the spear because
So the trident thing that changed into,
yeah.
and the spear, and the whip.
Yeah.
Are we? Moby, are you? Eddie, are you there? I know that because I know I can't see you. Just making sure you're there.
He says,
Give him all
Bart
three.
can have 20 HP.
So we'll wait
Yeah,
for
I'm here.
Eddie and Nick.
Bart.
Okay, just waiting for Nikki and then we'll get started.
it appreciates the healing. That almost brings up to full.
Bart's gonna get
Yeah.
fucking smacked one time and just die.
That, I mean, if he stayed at 33, that would be a guarantee. There's a chance.
Stay back.
So, so here's what I'll say. So they know, Fitz, you have an incredible persuasion, right? It's what is it plus your charisma?
My persuasion's plus 14.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
And I can't roll below a 10.
So what I'll say is, I would think that Fitz would understand that based on the way the star apparition, or the ideation, the way it described the warden and their temperament, it is not impossible to persuade them, to get around them without a fight. But I will say, even with Fitz's plus 14, they will be difficult to persuade.
Got it.
So Fitz would have to roll really fucking good.
No
Really
pressure,
well.
no pressure.
So, yeah.
Okay.
Or whoever was going to make that persuasion, and of course, Telmoon and Taraxi's being and showing him could aid and help. But one of you would probably want to make that check. It would probably want to be Fitz because we all know that. But you'd need to roll, and so just going in, so she knows it won't be as easy as
Not
she's
a walk in
normally
the
able to
park.
kind of manipulate people. Yeah, if that's the
You
You
approach they're
have
going to take.
inspiration.
Oh yeah, because I looked in the thing.
Everyone
Okay.
has inspiration.
Ooh, can I just
I
give it to you
didn't
now?
look.
You didn't look?
Yeah, I think Sophie and Perse is the only two that were like, this ain't our thing.
Yeah. Persis would have been like sitting at because the machine's like a big pile of gears, right?
Yeah.
Like
It'd be
sitting
worth
at the bottom,
funding.
like, are you done yet?
So as they continue deeper into the space of Perforos, another petrified god, it becomes more humid in this area. They're now in that jaw area where it still smells of like soot and muscle and metal, but as they get down, they start to see this expanse is unlike what they've seen before. Along the walls, there are these huge, enormous, colossal columns that are stacked adjacent to one another and on top of each other. What they realize, these are these monolithic pillars that are essentially teeth of Perforos. It is extremely dark here, but there is this faint glitter in certain structures that Fitz would automatically notice to be runes, what do you call raw materials, resources, gems, rubies. But they're like in them. They would probably need to be like picked away and carved out. But those kind of glitter in the room off of whatever light you cast. But yeah, you're in the mouth of Perforos, and what you can barely make of a floor would be this metallic kind of tongue. And then towards the back of that expanse is a hole deep within, and from within there's a faint red glow. It's really faint, and you can hear some like tinkering sounds very faintly down that way. Some hammering down the. But in this room or in the jaw area, it's just darkness and then those giant monolithic, teeth structures. I'll leave it open to y'all to how they navigate, and do they just continue on?
I feel like Fitz is making as many dad jokes as she can about, like, wow, this guy sure has a great dentist. Oh, what's going on, Perforos? Bullies got your tongue. Like, obnoxious things. As many, like, mouth puns as she can think of, and then notices that probably not everyone's responding to it, and she trails off, but then keeps muttering them under her breath, because she just can't help it.
So we should... Presumably, the sounds of activity are where we're headed towards.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yes. So that's beyond the jaw. So you're in the room kind of passing through, but then there's also kind of the draw to the glittering gems and things like that are in the room, but you can just continue on if you wish.
Owen, are we lollygagging?
Apple's
Paul
just
came here to
to pull things from
floss
teeth.
his teeth.
Can I have a perception check from everyone?
Are you sure about that?
Six.
Ungodly.
That is a mighty 3 from Talmud.
Actually matters the 19.
And a 12 from Bart.
30 for Sophia.
Hot damn.
14.
Sophia, everyone else is kind of oblivious, but towards the back of the darkness, in one of the jaw, one of the teeth towards the top, there is like a couple of holes in the metal, and Sophia sees this to her size, like, would be 4 times the size, maybe 3 times the size of Sophia, this like large centipede-like struck creature kind of crawl out of one of the holes and crawl into another, like it's living inside the tooth. And as it's like, and you just see it kind of skittering and going back into the tooth, and then it's gone. But yeah, it's somewhere in those. So those burrowing through those structures is something living. It's hard to make out, but I would say closest thing to like a very large centipede there.
Did it look like it was made of inorganic matter or
It was
organic
organic.
matter?
It was organic matter.
Okay.
But what you also notice is as it ate into the pieces, its body kind of faintly lit up like embers, like it was because it was eating and on the metal. It was like the metal was catching fire, like burning into little embers so it like kind of heated up, like it has its own natural like internal heat source.
I guess gods can get parasites.
So with you all floating, that thing is down there, there's just so you were able to spot like something living in this space. You don't know if there's multiple of them, or there's just like where you're heading towards.
What do you mean, parasites?
Well,
Here's its dental decay.
there seems to be a living creature burrowing through the columns. It was not made like Teroxes and Apodexis. It was of living matter. Although you two should be concerned, it did just take a chunk out of his tooth.
Worry not. All that is not meant to be will be purged upon my father's resurrection.
But I would like to smite that thing.
We're about to go fight giants. Let's take one step at a time.
I was
On the way
raised
back.
by giants. It won't be difficult to fight them.
Any tips?
Aim for the knees, ankles. Once they're on your level, they're a lot less intimidating.
That's a really good tip.
So it sounds like they're journeying deeper once again. As they do, what's the marching order?
I think if Fitz is going to try and be persuasive, she'll try to be towards the front.
Okay.
I got
know.
a question. Is it that narrow that we need a marching order? Because I figure we could just be file lining across. And just,
No, it is not that narrow. So yes, you could be filed out as well.
like we could just be
Yeah.
a wall moving.
Like bicyclists on the road.
A wall, then that's fine as well. It would be large enough for that.
It's the Wizard of Oz, lions and tigers and bears.
Oh my.
Does it sound like we're getting approaching where the hammering is happening?
You are. It's getting louder. Now,
Oh, boy.
if you're trying to be stealthy, I will need a stealth check from everyone. I will take the lowest check as the highest.
I
Are we
mean,
trying to be stealthy?
That said, I will give those who you're creeping up on disadvantage on their stealth checks. So
I mean, with
Alright.
There's
purpose
a lot
in
of
your heart, you don't
noise,
have to worry.
them
right?
not paying attention to you.
Alright.
Let's see what this will be.
26.
Jeez. Okay. Doubt I'll beat
I'm-
that with a disadvantage on all three of these.
I'm going to ruin
Right.
things for you because it was a 10.
I
Oh.
also rolled a 10.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that. Yeah.
No,
My
don't worry.
disadvantage
I
stealth
beat you
check
guys.
is a 21.
How the shit?
That's
How are
unfair.
you
rolled
sneaky?
It's
A
insane.
natural 20 and a 19.
I don't think I'm sorry, guys. Tell Moon with Perforos in his heart,
Roll a 1.
loud and
You rolled
proud,
a 1.
I
didn't
did
you?
too.
got a mighty 5.
Oh god.
Oh,
I got a mighty 3.
Oh no. Clank, 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 clank.
Yeah.
Those just
didn't-
keep hitting parts of them like.
who didn't oil their boots?
Yes. I also, as we were getting closer, wanted to approach. Hopefully, they're both within arm's reach. Telmoon and Moby, and say just in case. And I'm casting. I am twin spell casting protection from energy, fire.
Oh. Well, wow, I feel good.
Don't get
Nice.
overconfident. It just is a little bit of protection,
Well, thank you anyways.
of course.
Tastes a bit spicy.
Give me a second here to fix this. What I think you're able to see.
Yeah, tell me we'll be up in the front with Teroxes. Bar would probably actually be in the back, as he would make sure that there was that centipede-looking thing didn't sneak up behind us.
So then I guess Appa would be in the middle, right after Teroxes and Telmoon and what else is there? Fitz.
Oh, this is fine.
This is very fine. Just have Perforos in your heart and you'll be fine.
Yeah. This is suddenly a Disney movie, didn't you know?
Only the power of friendship will save us now.
My specialty.
That better be a big ass Care Bear stare.
Wasn't Jason saying last week that that's like his power is the Care Bear stare?
Yeah.
Pillar spray is just Care Bear stare.
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
Now that gift makes more sense.
Yeah, that's why it was in the Discord.
All right. So
It was a very complicated moment.
Yeah.
as they
Oh god.
descend into this space, what they're able to make out is that this domed room kind of coming out of the the area that would essentially be like almost like into the chest, like the throat, and there is this very faint like heartbeat coming out of this very bright, vibrant forge. And what they see is that these two kind of charcoal skinned, like very red-eyed giant figures are huge, like shoveling what Fitz has seen is like a dragon's hoard worth of treasure, just taking treasure that's full of like arcane like weapons and gauntlets, like all kind of like very like fantastic looking treasure, and just shoveling it into this fire that is kind of continues to like and every time some of the treasure kind of pours into there, the flame kind of like surges back to life for a second, and you hear this figure that's over in the corner here, so down below, these two are working, these two giants, and the figure on the pillar in the corner, you all are above them at this moment, appears to be like in like some other language. Does anyone speak Celestial? Okay, so Sophia is able to make out as the figure with like a flaming head of hair, and a rapier on his hip that flames like through the sheath. It's like, continue. We must keep the god alive. And then suddenly his head snaps up towards the ceiling, towards where you're floating into. Who goes there? As you've been noticed. Are those pesky those ideations of the brain? Oh, no. Hi. And then so it converts its speech like, oh, and then kind of transfers into common. But I'll stop there. It pauses and does not say anything else here. Waiting. Grabs
Wow, it's a really beautiful forge you have over here. I really like what you've done with the place. Do you mind if we have a chat?
more
By the grace of
Nixian
Perforos.
bugs and parasites. Now they
Oh,
come
yeah.
speaking.
See, yeah, I know. Stars, it's all my thing. Anyway, my friends here, big fans of Perforos. One of them, two of them created by him. Oh my gosh, great things. Love you so much. We were just looking for a trinket of trash and thought maybe we could donate some of our own possessions to keeping his mightiness alive, and maybe take that one piece of trash off your hands. And we're really ultimately on the quest to bring Perforos back, but this is just our first pit stop. Hi, how you doing? Bronze
His
Bullies.
voice booms out. There is no trash here.
Oh, I'm
If
sorry,
you
that was
come
the
to
wrong word.
Pillage or to take from the body of the Maker, we shall make sure you shall not pass. And then, and kind of his eyes kind of flame up when he pulls out that flaming sword. And
Oh,
waits.
so sorry. Not the word I meant. I'm so sorry. Honestly, just looking for a trade, if you'd be interested. We love your guy. We really want to bring him back. And we'd like to contribute something to the forge to keep the fire going. Right, everybody? Yeah.
Exactly.
Taroxes surges forward and activates his giant's might. Hold your blade, Forge Warden. I am Taroxes. I am crafted of the same as you, a son of our father, and we have come to contribute to the forge. We ask only that we may take one treasure that we need to descend into the underworld to further the cause of our father's resurrection.
There's a pause.
You get
They all
nothing
look at
more
each
than
other.
that.
What?
That's right. That's my friend Taroxes. He's great.
The little one speaks. What did you have to say? The other little one, looking at Telmoon.
Our holy mission under Perforos.
Your holy mission by our maker.
Bring him back.
Well, I see one of you holds the great hammer. But there's a part of us here. How about you lads that would love to see who is the better creation of Perforos? Us who have manned the flame for an Eternia? Or you, an idea of the weak?
Oh, see, you really shouldn't get us all riled up like that, because then, we're just gonna have to fight, and we'll probably win, because we're pretty strong. And then who's gonna man the forge? Let's think about that.
So while this is going back and forth, Appa pulls out the spear and the trident and then dives straight into the pit.
Into the fire?
And as he's jumping, he goes, if there is a better creation, then it's the one who truly sacrifices, and just dives straight down.
But wait. And as Apple jumps off, down he goes. Can I get your persuasion check, Fitz, with a help from many of your party, so you will get it at a bit. I know you probably already get an advantage, but with your advantage.
Dude.
What?
What?
Renee, there's easier ways to get out of a campaign, my man.
No.
Yeah, seriously.
You can just be like, I can't do it anymore.
Okay. I got a 15 plus 14.
Okay.
So 29. Not quite a 30, but not too shabby.
And as they like,
give you the inspiration that I got.
yeah. So as they pull their blades, and the other pulls its maul, and the other one is kind of like pulling up a sword, like preparing, like almost for a second they think that Apodexis is leaping into the fray with the spear, right, ready to attack. But as they see him going down, they like in slow motion step back as he like hits the fire, and you all watch as he kind of like descends in, and it like kind of splashes up like lava, and the lava kind of like this magma reaches out, but it like splashes up, but it wraps around him, like connecting to him and like consuming him, and it's a blistering pain that soon just he goes into shock. And you just watch him kind of lock up, and it's kind of reminiscent of that moment where Apple was like, kind of when he first got frozen by the Medusa, but he slowly there kind of becomes consumed by the flames and melts away into nothing. There is no Apple. And the warden is taken completely off guard by this, as Apple's burning in the flames. Sheathes the weapon and waves the hand out. You are truly of Perforos. Creation come and go. We are just molded clay. We are at your service. And they all kneel. But everyone feels that Apodexis is no more. A noble sacrifice to keep the flame burning. And the flame just... And like, there's like this... And then like... You hear this like loud thundering like breath go throughout the structure. And then everything kind of goes back to, and the heart continues to boom, 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 boom. But now it thumps with like a bit stronger than it, way stronger than it sounded before. Yeah, I didn't expect turning it back over to you all.
Why would he do that?
I just wanted him to sacrifice some weapons.
Well, we can't let this go to waste.
What is it that you said you needed?
There is a matching piece to this. We hope it hasn't been consumed already.
It
Yeah, that would be ultimately really bad.
Turns, he waves to one of the giants to kind of, and then he goes over into a corner, pulls it out, like holds it up, and what it is it's not an arm piece, it's a leg. It's a shin guard. And then the giant floats up, towards you all, and delivers it. I don't know to which one of you was willing to take it. And it's huge, but it like whoever he hands it out to, even if it was Taroxy's, it starts to shrink to fit your size.
Moby, you will hear in your head. You should probably take it. You said you need help.
Moby reaches out without saying any words and takes it.
It will take some time to attune, as all Perforos, but as it locks to your leg, to one of your legs, Moby, still exposing your 5 feet, fingered feet. It leaves those open, but it protects the entire leg and the knee. It makes you feel extremely, as heavy as it looks, you feel extremely nimble in it. And the warden is just kind of caught off. He says, your friend has returned to Erebos. I mean, to Perforos. But as you can see, He has done more to keep him alive for now than any of these artifacts that we've shoveled in have done. That is quite honorable, and I have never seen anything like it.
We are going to try to bring him back. Stay strong here. We will move as quickly as we can.
Keep at the forge, my brothers. We will resurrect our father.
You have bought us great time. If the forge will continue to burn for at least another year, kind of looks at it based on its brightness and the flame. Do us justice in that time and bring back the Maker, so that he may wield his hammer once again. But in the meantime, you be the arm of Perforos. Kind of looking at Taroxys.
Give everything we got for that. Talmoon just has a single tear rolling out of his eye.
Apodexis, you made this sacrifice, and so it happened so quickly. It feels, blink of an eye. But if there's anything you're willing to share of like what that moment, not the moment of the pain, because that was a flash and that was nothing. That was, you've experienced, pain throughout your entire existence to some degree. But what was his thoughts? Well, if you're willing to share, as he descended down, kind of, we had the flashback moments, almost like in those seconds, what was he thinking?
His final thoughts were very simple. After seeing what Erebos had done, and knowing that they need to, if they're truly going to be awakening Perforos, then they need time, and they also need to remake everything that we broke. It's the only way. And that was his last thought.
We will not explore at the moment where he is or where he goes in that aftermath. But a noble action indeed, as clearly it's been stated, that sacrifice has done a great deal to keep the heart pumping of the Great Forge of Perforos. We kind of pull back out to where the groups are, where our party, the Bronze Bullies, are, and turn it back over to you all. Where they go next?
This is the most solemn floating back up to the head, back to the ship for Talmud.
Before they leave the forge area, Fitz is totally planting a Bullies flag up on that ridge. And trying to think of what I have that could be Apo-ish. She's gonna take the quill of Afara and do like a caricature doodle of Apo near the flag, and just say, he died doing what he loved. I don't know. I can't believe he died. We were just making jokes and talking about biting off hands. I think there will be some severed hands in that doodle. There have to be.
Before they get to the cavern that leads to the ship, but as they're floating through and, you're planting these bronze bullies planks, there's this boom, boom. They hear like a voice and it says, "Bullies, come to me. Let us speak." It's in your head. It's moving through your bodies. The sound is through the halls, and it's up towards. And now, where the brain would have been, where all those swarming skulls are, that crystal is bright and lit as they're swimming around. But it's calling you to go back up there.
Yes, I think grief is driving me insane. I'm hearing voices in my mind.
We're all hearing voices in our minds.
Go into
We're all hearing that?
I'm coming. As Talmoon's rising up.
And those swarming skulls now that are floating all around, they've kind of they had kind of gone back to defensive, like just back to their kind of patrolling positions. And as you float up, they now kind of feel like spectral lanterns as they allow you to pass. They just kind of float by you in a very just kind of graceful manner. And as you get closer towards the brain, you can see some of them swirling, but they kind of, instead of making that skull, they make the face they make that similar face of the god Perforos with his eyes burning incendiary like fire. Your sacrifice has been acknowledged. You are the greatest of my followers. I am still here. My spark still burns. I don't know what Taroxys and Talmoon feel here, but or say here.
Taroxys. Go ahead.
I imagine that Talmoon's probably down praying. He says something, but no one can hear it audibly. And I think it's a message only for Perforos.
Okay.
I'll leave it at that.
Fair enough.
And Taroxys just says, "We will do whatever it takes to return you to us, Father."
Yes. As they're all kind of beholding this moment here, being able to speak to their god, and some of them just being able to speak to, whether it's their god or not, the god that they have, been around Talmoon and Troxys, and to some degree the god that's influenced their very name. Perforos says, and his mouth moves from made out of those skulls, but it doesn't necessarily match. It's just, the voice just kind of rolls like thunder. Taroxys, Talmoon, kind of nods, but Taroxys, my loyal creation. I crafted you to demonstrate to Mogis that my prowess could fashion a more perfected instrument of brutal might. Clearly, I have triumphed. Yet I cast you aside thereafter, as is my nature. But remarkably, your loyalty persisted, earning you the privilege of wielding my hammer. And now you stand before me once again, I entrusted you with the most destructive part of my essence, of my being, and you have harnessed it so well. Now, let me bestow upon you another gift. And as one of the skulls floats out to Taroxys and like creates a spectral hand, like a mage hand that kind of lays or touches him on the head, kind of anointing him. It says, let me bestow you another gift. Venture forth into this world and shape it anew. Alongside these companions, forge a fresh THEROS. Guard against the divisive powers that have sundered us gods. Unite our kin and our creators. I have given you the power of destruction, and now I grant you the power of creation, of unity, to all of you. And all of the skulls began to like morph as little bronze bullies flags kind of emerge out of them and begin to like slowly wave in the space. Go forth. And whatever that means, whatever that anointing is, it hasn't like settled in yet what it does. But Taroxys has it. And if there's anything else that he wants to say or share, he can now.
Just, thank you. Just like all he's ever wanted to hear, and he's just like, he can't glow or show facial emotion, but it's just like a glow.
And in this moment, there's like in Taroxys' mind, I don't think anyone else is seeing this, but Taroxys is witnessing. He's actually seeing through Perforos' eyes the moment of the finishing of his creation. Like Perforos creating this little miniature. Crafting like a puppeteer, admiring his work. And Perforos looks at it, at Taroxys, at himself. And then looks over from his heavenly place and he sees the Badlands. And down in the Badlands, there is this noble, like, Minotaur that is fighting. And that Minotaur has been ambushed by a group of adventurers. And those adventurers, those humanoids, and the Minotaur's wearing this, like, gleaming armor of, like, Iroas. And they murder that Minotaur. And he breathes his last breath. And as the soul leaves the Minotaur, Perforos reaches down very quickly and plucks it up, looks around to make sure Erebos isn't watching, and pops it right inside of Taroxys' chest as it closes. As Taroxys breathes his first breath that's not a breath, as that soul ignites him. And now Taroxys is back, and that vision is gone, and he knows his origin at its fullest. All the skulls slowly begin to drift away. Slowly, pieces of Perforos' face kind of drifting away until there's just the crystal, just the brain. But his presence is still there. Any last remarks, any last words other than that?
Persis will have witnessed that, and she kneels and mutters, "I thank you again for my life. I'll do what you asked. We will fix the world."
You shall, and know that I have not forgotten about you. I have given you the greatest gift of these. Lies not only on your skin of your structure, but deep within you, as you have always had my wisdom. Continue to guide them. to you, Tell Moon. Continue on, but follow your own voice, as it will always be right. And in that moment, I imagine there's something for Tell Moon that's probably, when Jason is back, that I can kind of share with him a little bit more personally. And as they all kind of turn away to head back to the ship, they hear the voice go, "Oh, Teroxes, one more thing. Maybe give the next Minotaur you meet another shot. Just saying. They aren't all bad." And then it just kind of drifts, the voice drifts, and that is honestly where I would end this episode. But if there is more time, if they want to role play as they continue back to the ship or on the ship, that's that. I'll turn it over to them to see like how they're feeling and where, we almost can like cut back to as they would have made it back to the ship. They would be on the ship. I imagine there's probably like silence on the way back to it. But as people kind of come away from their awe, struck moments, maybe they can decide like where to next and talk with each other and just kind of wrap things up a bit.
I think Persis would, along the way, want to come alongside Teroxes. And the two of them have not had a lot of great interactions. But as they're walking, he saw you. He acknowledged you, praised you. I hope you know that all along he would have said the same thing.
Thank you for your kind words. If I am to be honest, since the death of the old world, every second of every day, I have thought to do as Apodexis did today, if it would have brought him back. My only shame this day is that he made that sacrifice. And in his memory, and in my father's honor, we're going to save the universe.
I still doesn't feel real. I don't understand it.
We'll give the best that we got.
Right. He died for us. And I think because of that, we have to live for him. We have to hold true to his memory. We owe it to him. We can do this.
We'll make the sacrifice. Where are we going next?
Well,
You don't have to be the next to sacrifice. None of us has to sacrifice.
You don't know that. Because he just
we
made
don't-
a liar out of me. This would be 2 for 2 pieces. we've lost someone. I was lucky enough to be brought back. We go for a third. Who's next?
I feel your pain, Sophia. But what is the loss of one or two of us against the entire universe, the galaxy, this whole new expanse? Each of our friends were willing to make that sacrifice to save all. And if more are required, then I hope that we shall make them happily.
I just hope the sacrifices are worth it.
It's on us to make them worth it.
As Master Bart said, where's the next piece?
Actually, speaking of, let's see here. Actually, hold on. Let me make sure. Feel free to continue to roleplay as I will share what we have on Roll20 in terms of where they're located. I don't know why it's not allowing me to drag, but
Are you on the right layer?
maybe that's what it is. I'm probably not. I don't use this often, so maybe mapping back. No,
No, it's a token, so you go to tokens.
I'm on tokens. Oh, go to token.
Yeah.
So yeah, this is where the Bronze Bully ship is, floating in shard space. We originally came here. Let's see if I can. Originally was where Strahd's castle was, and these little circles are where Nick Spell had marked the locations. So these two general areas would be the next locations of the other pieces. Yeah.
So, medium or big?
Yeah, the larger the space means the more space that you might have to scour to find it. These two were really they were zeroed in on the location. You know, they were much.
Well, I trust Captain Persis to set us on our next heading.
Very well. We follow the most efficient path. Head directly to the closest one. So I
Yeah,
guess on that
going
map,
way.
going straight east, right?
Going straight, yep. So this one. So they chart the course. They begin to head in that direction. Yeah, they began to kind of chart that course. They began to head there. No one could have. I would not have, imagined that even I, that Appa would sacrifice. Though I'm not surprised. I know that he's always been capable of great sacrifice, and therefore we just have seen it this evening. As they float away into the Nyx, into the stars. I'll say that somewhere deep within the headspace. This is now not for the Bronze Bully's eyes. And maybe maybe this pops up in one of their dreams later, but for right now, this is just above table, and it's just for the players at the table. As they leave the eye socket and begin to drift back into the Nyx, the ideation that they met, there's this whoa, this like kind of like a bell sounding or an alarm sounding, as that ideation comes out and goes, a new ideation is being born. Come. And others begin to kind of spring out of the woodworks, like hiding in these apparitions. And they float up. And that one that you met earlier, the one that was in the eye, is floating up towards that brain, and all those surrounding skulls that were protecting it, like kind of part like clouds. And at the center, we push towards this bright light, as Perforos says, "This is my new idea. I shall execute it and put him in, make him when I have regained my power." And this golden giant lion like roars into, like, runs around in the space, made of like this anvil wrought lion on all fours, and then it transforms like into Apodexis, and will flash to black and end there. Good game.
Renee, what the hell?
Dude, if you would have seen my video, if I actually had video, you would have seen my fucking face when you did that.
I'm so
losing my
pissed
shit.
you made Sophia a fucking liar. She was
All
so
I want
close
is
to
to
literally
keep all
leaving
my
into that
fucking
lava.
friends alive.
I bought y'all some time.
Yeah, a year.
That don't mean shit in the grand scheme. We die.
So at this
So you better
moment,
do it quickly.
Renee, hopefully that wasn't
Lobby
a swan
Bear
song
Clan?
to you playing the game with us, but you would be at this moment taking over Barraclan and breathing life into our Hercules that's on board.
Nice.
Means we gotta make Nick's fucking NPC stay alive.
Ah, I hate
Making
it.
my job
We get to the
harder.
last fight, and everyone's an NPC. Like, there's no more.
We got this. It was all Captain America's. We can do
There
this
would be
all
something
day.
poetic about it, because in a weird way, I don't think that's gonna happen. Please don't. I'm just saying it out loud as we're playing with the idea. But it would be kind of this idea that the Bronze Bullies like breathe life into people who would have never thought they would be great, right? Like, and put
Right.
them on. On
The
You need to
real
get Fitz's
moral is
brother
that
on the
everyone
action.
becomes a bully.
No.
Like, being a bully is synonymous with being a hero. If you're a hero,
Yeah, I don't know
you're
what
a
this-
bronze bully.
Yeah, I don't know what this is really saying in the grand scheme of being a bully and what that means in the world, if this is the message of the story, but yeah, it's great. Oh man. Yeah, I
fine. One
I
day
didn't
it'll
expect
pass
that, but I
into
felt that.
I love
That
the
is-
look on your faces. Like, I screen
you're
capped it.
the
Everyone's just
worst.
like,
Yeah.
There was no way I was
So
gonna make you guys
good.
roll and have a combat after that. I was like, well,
My brain was like, how do I negate this? And the cleric can't do shit.
would have been such an ass.
He's
Like,
like-
okay, roll for initiative. Here we go. Like,
He's
Yeah.
like, I take the
You know
spear.
what?
I'm like, cool. I take the trident. Cool.
Awesome.
I
Yeah,
jump.
yeah.
Hold on.
Yeah. Wait, excuse me?
Just throw those in there. We'll be good.
is it just me, or was there some Ripley moment in there? Kind of like, there felt like I
Yes.
had a Ripley flashback to
I was gonna actually be like and go faster because I had a Chardonnay's boots.
You
was
wanted to make
gonna
sure
be
no
like-
one was going to try to stop you.
But yeah,
Yeah, I felt like it happened that fast. I was just trying to slow it down so that we understood the moment. Just so everyone understood what was really happening.
No, we understood. We just didn't want to comprehend.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't think
Oh,
I
You're
did.
like,
I was
nah,
like,
devastating.
He's full
I
of shit.
mean,
Where's
also
the
think
JK coming in?
I also
at?
think the characters too would be like,
Oh yeah, no,
processing, like,
Sophia's,
well,
Sophia's
Yeah.
fucked now.
and I was trying to process, like, how do I get him out of this? And it was just like, it doesn't. There's no way.
there's no
Like,
way.
it was the same thing with Telmu, where I had him touch the thing. It was like, there's no point to even roll dice here. Like, this is the Eternal Forge. Like, there's no coming back from that. You're gone. You just go back to, you literally go back to the source, which is, purpose. You kind of kneeled it, right? You went back to the source, so.
I mean, but what that was the thing.
But
Like,
what's
you gave me the idea.
interesting
Though.
is in my notes, I'll actually read this out. Because I said leave this as an open. I said, show the party that these figures are giving back the gifts of Perforos to keep the flame ignited. And then I asked myself some questions. Would Taraxis present himself? Would they give the fist? Is there another way? And sure enough, Renee was like, "I'll go," so it wasn't Amarant. It was not the one I was thinking of, but it was something that I could consider. But I didn't even consider it would happen. Like, you know, it's just like I'll put it on the table because it was like a note to think about.
So until you said that, as soon as you said they were shoveling it in, and then it starts to beat a little, I'm like, I know exactly what I'm doing.
And I didn't want to kill the moment, but also, Fitz, since you're our treasurer, can you roll 3d10 for me and give me the numbers separately? Don't add them up.
It's just stupid poetic because, like, your second life was technically given because of Perforos, and you just gave it back.
That's true. Yeah, he gave back that. Damn, that's like super deep. Yeah. Because he would have been petrified, right? Like, Perforos gave him that.
He was basically already dead until we re-amble rotted him.
Well, and remember what he told you all when we watched Elliot being smashed to pieces.
Yeah, that's interesting.
We made a mistake. Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, you did say that too. This is one of those episodes I might have to go back and watch because there was stuff that was happening that was foreshadowing things that I didn't even see coming as the DM. Like, I was like, oh shit.
Can you tell him back to school?
Oh no, I knew.
Yeah.
Like, the whole Helion fight was a mistake. Like,
you said, can you tell me
we're
you're
fighting
back
the
to school?
prime god. We killed him. Cool. That's not gonna throw waves.
I rolled 2 10s and a 2.
Ooh, okay. Jeez, okay.
Money.
Your bag of holdings maxed out.
Don't you dare.
Isn't it should be like ripping at the seams by now?
I'm just patching the seams with bronze bullies patches.
So you got 2. So when they were shoveling that stuff in, when they saw the commitment of what Apodexis gave of himself, they gave you all, not only did they let you, go and gave you the item, but they also gave you, I haven't decided on one wondrous item. I have to figure that out, so remind me.
Okay.
They also gave you a blue star sapphire worth 1,500 gold. And they gave you a gold yellow topaz worth 400 gold pieces.
Really hope spells can be used with those, because like I only use diamonds.
And then she was also given a diamond earlier, and that diamond's worth at least 1,000 gold. At least.
Nice.
Because remember, that diamond is pretty large. There was a fist, and this one's about a quarter of that. So.
One of those episodes that's just too good to have planned for.
Yeah.
It really is. This was that episode. This was like a part 2 to the first one, and I was just like, I really never knew how this, like, the Perforos head episode was gonna go, but like, yeah, like crazy.
I'm not looking forward
and like
to
clearly
the
I set up for this
next
fight. I was like, oh, this is gonna be like fight it with these guys, but I was like, that's. And then Fitz, I want to say there's a chance you rolled really high, but I don't want to say what would have happened because whatever happened it happened and it was great. But I think that even with your high roll, it wouldn't have turned out like that.
No. My layman's persuasion could never beat the faith of a true believer sacrificing themselves for the cause. Like, totally.
Why am I going to tell Jason?
So
or could you be so upset that somebody else got to sacrifice himself?
Yeah. Or be like,
really.
Thor went up to you.
How does Tyroxis feel about being a honorable?
There's still a
soul that would build
sacrifice
him?
that's required to
sure.
bring him back, to bring Perforos back.
We all have plenty of chances to die. Don't worry.
Yeah, I still might die at the end of this.
Stop dying, everyone.
So, by the way,
dying.
that wasn't the soul
feel like
sacrifice
Fitz
that
is-
brings him back. That was just to keep the flame going. Sacrifice. That was like.
Fitz is gonna be the last one to survive this whole thing.
But
And
you
it's
see,
gonna be a
so
book.
don't judge me. Nick,
I'm gonna
you know
write
I
the
didn't
sad
plan that.
poetry
You know
later.
I didn't even put that
No.
on the docket tonight.
I'm
Like,
blaming
that
this all
was-
on Renee.
That's y'all group, y'all.
Yeah.
Oh, Renee.
I can't. Fitz. The thing I pictured, like, you guys are all talking on the boat as soon as we get back. Like, where are we going next? I just picture that Fitz just, like, walks all the way into her room, like, lays down on Kai's hoard in the fetal position and just sobs.
Yeah.
Like, that's where we leave her.
like-
It's like, I'm so sick of my fucking friends dying. How dare you?
I just thought it'd be like the most tragic thing if like Fitz ends up as the last bronze bully. Like everyone has their own
Oh,
heroic
I
death.
fully think she.
I
will.
feel
and
like
then
it has
it's just
to.
Fitz.
That's totally how it's gonna happen.
my
It's
God,
gonna
it's
be
true.
me
In a
gonna be
weird
like
way,
a-
it fits because like
Yeah.
we're playing off of Greek tragedies, right? So like, there's
Yeah.
always this moment of like these low moments for these characters where like death is kind of a part of their.
Someone has to survive
Like-
to write the Iliad, you know?
Yeah.
Well, and everyone else has to die to make the story. Like
Yeah.
Achilles isn't
Yeah.
remembered for his life; he's remembered for his
For his
death.
death. Yeah.
How
it's-
dare you guys?
Oh.
All
And
she
we've
wants
already
is for
lost
you to be
so
alive.
many.
I know.
And
I
like
know.
decades later, we'll just have a depressed Fitz like in a tavern, like
But
that one
she's, like,
time
the
I was
best
happy
writer.
and made jokes.
Strumming away
She's
on
just
a
like
harp.
in all black in her emo face.
It's
No
this
going back
it's
after
straight
that.
up like Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles: The Last Ronin. Oh, if you haven't read it, it's so good.
Oh, it's amazing.
Oh.
Such
Fitz
a
gets
tragedy.
cursed with immortality as the last bully, so
Who
that
does?
our stories
Yes.
will never be
Oh,
forgotten.
Ooh.
So that she
I can
just
hang out with
continues
Nylea
telling
forever.
the tale forever.
Sounds awesome, actually.
A
So-
cautionary tale of what
I feel
happens
like-
when you come up against a god.
Yeah.
God's
If you can't
plural.
be an example, be a warning.
And then there's like
Mhm.
all these bronze, like everyone loves the bronze bully, says all these like flags and stuff, constant reminders of all the friends who have perished. Like,
She just
That's-
rides around on her dragon,
Ugh.
spreading the good word.
yeah, that
This
was.
it sounds like it's gonna happen, you
That
guys.
was epic. That was.
Well, there's only 4 left. Really.
It's too real. It's too real.
Of the original, yeah, we're real low
Yeah.
on original.
We're
Another
low.
OG
Originals,
just
yeah.
went down.
It's what it's Selma, Teroxys, Fitz,
It's
Oh,
Proxinos.
Proxinos is
Proxinos.
No,
gone.
Proxinos
Dead.
is gone.
Oh no, Proxinos is
We lost him. This is
Proxinos
what I was like,
three.
Renee. You're ramping this up because we lost Proxinos last episode, or 2 episodes
We
ago.
lost
Yeah.
Proxinos and Sophia last episode.
We had to
Yeah.
bring her- we had to
I
bring
was-
Sophia back, so we lost 2 in one episode.
I was
like-
dead. We didn't know about Proxy until we were leaving
Until we had
the
already
castle.
resurrected her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
yeah, we are very low on OG bullies.
Dang, that's crazy. That's starting to scare me.
I think you're gonna get MVP badges at some point. Like,
Yeah, we
still
got-
alive.
I made it this
the
far.
still alive badge.
Dang. Yeah,
I
we still. You go back to the
survived
day we
X
started.
of encounters.
You go back to the YouTube, the first upload, and go like, "I've survived this many days in the THEROS campaign." Like, jeez,
God.
those would be
This
badges.
many days since a party accident.
Oh, that number will be at 0.
Wipe it
forever.
down to 0.
You know Mel
Like,
has the
we
little
haven't
ticker that
even
goes.
met the Murder King yet. Like, what is
I
No, we still have to fight that fucker. Now we're fighting him
that
down.
Nick created? I want you to all to understand. When you do
One
fight
powerful
him,
bully.
when you do fight the Murder King, just know that I didn't.
He gonna
make this
kick our
bullshit.
ass.
I didn't make
Hmm.
this bullshit.
Yeah,
As
that's
long as
even
he's not
scarier.
resistant to fire, I think I can handle him.
I bet he is.
He went off screen. He was like, "Yeah, I'm just gonna say I didn't." It's gonna be like
I
a
apologize.
disclaimer
I know.
on the episode.
I know Nick's
Gentlemen Game Masters
creations.
did
I
not
fought
create-
them. They're
They're
fucking broken.
abominable.
Level 7
my God.
fighting a god. Cool.
Cool.
Oh
Isn't
man.
that like the old Godzilla meets Bambi cartoon? That just
Pretty much.
I gave them the entire army of a country.
Like that really like. Let's be real.
okay.
Here.
I didn't
I
expect
mean,
to
come
lose
on.
my
The
life.
armies of the world fought Godzilla. How did that? Like, how did that end up?
Oh my god.
I swear to fucking Christ, if either one of y'all decide to jump into something to sacrifice yourself, I'm gonna hold person you before you leave the ledge.
Yeah.
I was waiting for somebody to cut me off and be like, no, don't let him do that."
It just
I
happened
was
too
I was
fast.
scrolling
It's
through
too
my
fast.
spells so fucking fast to look for anything. And of course, I've been playing way too much Tears of the Kingdom, so I'm thinking of that recall button where you can rewind time, and I'm like, I gotta have something
Oh,
like
yeah.
that. No,
That's
don't.
also kind of why I did what I did, because my son's been playing that and he told me about that. I'm like, oh no. Oh no.
It's so much fun.
All I could have
Renee,
done was like
you're so lucky that Jason wasn't